You want the truth? Not the sugar-coated lie. Not the Disney version. Not the modern filtered fantasy. Just raw human truth. Then listen carefully. Because Freud said something so disturbing, so uncomfortable, they tried to erase it from history. Not because it was wrong, but because it was too real. Too primal. Too close to the bone. Too close to something we all feel, but no one dares admit. The core of a woman's desire is not love. It's power. And when Freud hinted at this, the world burned him alive. Because it shattered the fantasy. But he didn't back down. He didn't care about being liked. He cared about truth. And once you hear what he really said, you'll never see female desire the same way again. By the end of this video, you'll understand why so many men feel lost, used, disposable, emasculated, without ever knowing why. You'll see how the game of desire is not what you were told. You'll see through the illusion. And finally, you'll stop blaming yourself for a wound that was never yours to carry. This isn't about hating women. It's not about blame. It's about awakening, about seeing through the mask before it destroys you. Tell me if this feels familiar. You gave her everything, your time, your love, your loyalty. You put her first. You texted back fast. You tried to be the good guy, and somehow she lost interest. The more you gave, the less she respected you. And you thought, maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I need to try harder. Maybe nice guys really do finish last. You blamed yourself. But what if I told you it wasn't about you at all? It was something older, deeper, buried in the subconscious of human history, in the roots of our biology. And Freud, he saw it. He said it out loud, and they hated him for it. Let me take you deeper now, into the shadows where most people are too scared to look, where truth whispers and society pretends it didn't hear. Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, wasn't trying to flatter humanity. He wasn't interested in comfort. He was obsessed with what's buried beneath, the unconscious, the animal instincts hiding under your polite smile. And for women, that instinct wasn't what people wanted to believe. Everyone wanted to hear women desire love, softness, security, a white picket fence. But Freud said something else, something far more disturbing. He observed that female desire was rooted in conflict, in tension, in pursuit. He said, when a woman feels she possesses a man completely, her desire begins to die. Why? Because her unconscious is not wired for comfort. It's wired for conquest, not necessarily sexual, but psychological. She wants to feel pulled towards something she can't fully possess. She wants a mystery to solve, a dominance to challenge, a power to seduce and then, maybe, transform. This is where Freud introduced what's now called the repetition compulsion. He noticed women, and men too, but more commonly women in his studies, were unconsciously drawn to situations that repeated emotional tension, especially those linked to early psychological wounds. So what does that mean in plain words? It means this: a woman who grew up feeling unseen by her father will often desire a man who's emotionally distant, not because she enjoys pain, but because part of her psyche is still trying to win the love she never received. Desire for many isn't about finding peace. It's about trying to fix an old story, trying to reverse a childhood wound through an adult relationship. Now imagine what happens when a woman finally gets that emotionally unavailable man to open up, to surrender, to give her all the attention and softness she thought she wanted. She should be happy, right? But something strange happens. Her attraction fades. The thrill dies. The fire turns cold. Why? Because the tension is gone. She's no longer fighting to win. She won. And now she's bored. Not because she's evil. Not because she planned it. But because her unconscious desire was never for peace. It was for transformation through conquest. This is the uncomfortable truth Freud exposed. Woman's desire is not satisfied by love alone, but by the sense of breaking through something powerful. That's why the man who gives himself too easily, who's always available, who makes her his center, slowly becomes unattractive. He thought he was being romantic, but from the eyes of the unconscious, he became conquered, and the unconscious no longer desires what it already owns. You see, Freud's theory wasn't just about women. It was about human nature at war with itself. But when he said it, when he dared to suggest that female desire had a dark undercurrent, society lost its mind, because he wasn't calling women pure angels. He wasn't calling men predators either. He was saying, inside every soul, there is light and shadow, and desire lives in the shadows more often than we care to admit. That's why they tried to bury his work. But the truth? It doesn't stay buried forever. Let me tell you what I had to learn the hard way. Rule 1. Desire is not logical. Stop thinking if you do everything right, she'll love you forever. You're not in a moral contract. You're in a psychological battlefield. Attraction isn't about being nice. It's about being mysterious, confident, purpose-driven. It's about being a man she can't fully decode. Because the second you become predictable, the second you hand over your edge, you become invisible. Rule 2. Don't chase. Lead. The moment you start orbiting her life, she stops seeing you as the sun. Be the one with a mission. Be the one who can walk away. When a woman knows you can live without her, that's when she wants to be part of your world. Rule 3. Keep your mystery. Don't spill your soul on the first date. Don't always answer texts instantly. Don't make her your religion. Make her earn the parts of you that are sacred. Because the moment she feels she's figured you out, the game is over. Remember, she doesn't crave what's given. She craves what's just out of reach. Like a shadow she can't touch. Like fire she can feel, but never hold. So what do you do now? Hate women? No, you understand them. You stop playing the victim. You stop blaming yourself for not being nice enough. And you start stepping into your power. Because the truth is, if you keep handing over your soul to win her affection, you'll lose both. But if you own your edge, if you lead with purpose, if you become a man who doesn't beg for love, you'll stop attracting games and start attracting respect. Freud wasn't telling you to fear female desire. He was telling you to understand it, so it doesn't destroy you in the dark. So if this hits something real, if you saw your past in this, or your present, then don't keep walking blind. Subscribe for the truth others won't tell you. Comment what opened your eyes, and share this with the friend who keeps giving too much and keeps getting left behind. And remember this image. A man who gives away his fire will always be left in the cold. Keep your fire. Burn brighter, not smaller.